Hello and welcome back to my channel. How are you guys doing? How's this year been treating you so far? I know it's a bit too late, but today's video will be my beginning of the year book talk. We will be talking all about anticipated releases, new authors I want to read from, my reading goals, my priority TBR, etc. etc. So, this is my first time doing this type of video. I was planning on doing an end of the year book talk video for 2024, but I ended up not having enough time to film it. But here we are now. New Year's resolution, do more videos for my booktube. That'd be cool. So let's get straight into the question, shall we? First one is, how many books are you planning on reading in 2025? I know I already talked about this in a previous video, but anyhow, for this year, I set my reading goal on 100 books. I lowered the number a bit from last year to this one because I did not reach my reading goal in 2024, which was 150 books. I know I was crazy, but I really thought I will make it since in 2023 I read 180 books. So naive of me thinking I could pull it again. And so my reading goal for 2025 is 100 books. I think I can make it or at least get close to it. I'm a fast reader, so I'm optimistic. Second question is most anticipated 2025 book release. Okay, I recently made a video talking about 30 new book releases for this year that I want to read, but I'm gonna sum it up to 5 books that are the ones I'm most excited to read and that I can wait for them to come out. And those are Deepen by Ali Hazelwood, The Lair by Liz Nakani, Rewind It Back by Lee Stamford D, Good Spirits by B.K. Vorison, and The Firebear by Branix. I think those 5 might be my most anticipated book releases for 2025 above all. Third question is a book you're most likely to reread. The first book that came to my mind is the Mindfuck series by S.T. Abbey. I love this book with my whole being, and I reread this book at least once every year. It's like a tradition already. And in 2024, I didn't reread it. I don't know why, but I didn't. So I think it's about time I give it another read. If there's a book I'll always recommend against all odds, it would be this one. Fourth question is a book you wanted to read in 2024 but didn't, so now it's a priority in 2025. So I made a video last year for Book My Season talking about my 10 before the end, which were the 10 books I wanted to read before 2024 ended. But most of them, I didn't have enough time to read them, and out of those 10 books, I think I only read like 2 or 3. So the rest of those books will be my priority TBR for this year. But if I had to choose just one book, I think it'd be Only in Your Dreams by Madison Wright. This is the second book in a series. I read the first one as an arc a while ago, and I loved it, and I feel like this one will be more of the same. Fifth question is a series you want to read this year. This question is really hard because there's a lot of series I like to read and I like to get into, but I listen it up to just 3 series, the first ones that came to my mind. The Hardy Billionaire Brothers series by Shane Rose. This is a contemporary romance series that follows the Hardy brothers, and each novel centers on a different brother. There are 4 books in the series. I think the series is already completed, but I don't know for sure. This series has Marriage of Convenience, Fake Dating, Enemies to Lovers, Second Chance Romance, Slow Burn, Forced Proximity, Friends to Lovers. It literally has it all. Next series I like to get into this year is the Hollow Boys series by Monty J. This is a dark romance series set in an eerie town, and it follows the lives of 4 friends known as the Hollow Boys. Each book delves into a different relationship, and it has elements of mystery, suspense, and romance. This is a 5-book series, but the 3rd and 4th are part of a duet. This series has Dark Academia, Enemies to Lovers, Forced Proximity, Forbidden Love, Second Chance Romance, Found Family, and all the books are in dual POV. And lastly, the Brutal Birthright series by Sophie Lark. This is a collection of 6 interconnected standalone novels, and it focuses on the lives of the city's mafia families. I've been wanting to read this one for a while now, but because I wanted to make a reading vlog, I've been postponing this series on. But trust, this is the year I finally read it. So this series has Enemies to Lovers, Arranged Marriage, Forced Proximity, Opposites Attract, A Slow Burn, Second Chance Romance, Bodyguard Romance, Forbidden Love, and Found Family. This question is a new author you want to read from. Okay, for this question, I picked just two, and I guess there aren't really new authors to me because I read at least one book of each author, but it's been so long that I'll probably reread them. One is Kate Controversy. I read In a Jam by this author a couple of years ago and I loved it. It's a small town second chance romance. And I want to continue with her other books, such as Change of Heart and In a Rush, which is coming out this year. And another one is Lena Hendricks. I read the first books of the Sullivan Family series also a couple of years ago. From what I remember, I think I liked them. Like I rated both of them 4 stars. And I want to finish that series and would like to continue with this author's other series, such as the Redemption Ranch series and the King Family series. 7th question is an audiobook you want to listen to. Caught Up by Navisa Allen. This book hasn't come out yet. It will be published on June 10th and it's the second part of Lights Out. If you're on BookTok, you must have heard of Lights Out. The audiobook was amazing, the voice actors did such a great job, and that's the sole reason why I cannot wait to listen to the audiobook of Caught Up, because I expect nothing less. 8th question is, who are your Audible authors going into 2025?
Oh my goodness, I love this question! I think
this is more than obvious. If you watch it like more than 5 videos of mine, you'll just know, like it's so obvious. I'm gonna start with Elsie Silver, the queen of cowboy romances. I've read all of her books, all of her series. I'm up to date with her releases and there's no single book I haven't loved. She's just one of those authors I'd even read her growth list. My favorite books from her are Reckless and White Lies. I never shut up about Reckless and I probably never will. This book just gets me. Next author is Liz Stamford. I know she only has one series which is not finished yet, but based on it, I just know I love whatever she writes. My favorite book by her is Play Along. It was so good and I had the best time reading it. If you haven't read the Windy City series by her yet, I don't know what the hell you're doing. I know some people read the first book Mile High and say, I don't like it and leave it. But I promise you it gets better. It really gets better with every single release. And another author will be Ali Hazelwood. With this author, I think her writing has really improved a lot since her first series and since The Love Hypothesis, which I know a lot of people didn't like, but her last books have been also good. My favorite books by her are these 3, because I cannot choose. All 3 are 5 stars for me. I'll leave this list like that for now, but obviously special mentions to Camilla Isley, Lila Sage, Sophie Lark, Bryn Weaver. They are just the kind of authors that if she writes it, I'm gonna read it. 9th question is a sequel you're anticipating. So many sequels coming out this year. Okay, I'm gonna say 3 books, 3 sequels releasing this year. Beyond the Wall by Eva Hunter. This is the 3rd book in the Runaway Ranch series, and it comes out on January 23rd. I think by the time I upload this video, the book will already be out. So as I said, this is the 3rd book in the Runaway Ranch series. I love the first 2 books when I read them, and I'm very much looking forward to read this one as well. Scythe and Sparrow by Bryn Weaver, the 3rd and final book in the Ruinius Love trilogy, and it comes out on February 11th. This book follows Butcher and Blackbird and Leather and Dark, and it's a series of that rom-coms which I'm loving so far. And Scotch on the Rocks by Elliot Fletcher. This one comes out on June 5th, and it's the 2nd book in the Maccabee Brothers series. I read the first book as an arc, and it was so good, and I loved it so much that it became one of my top reads of 2024. And the 10th and last question is, how has your reading taste evolved from 2024 to 2025? It's just the same. And I think it will be just the same because I only read romance And if a book doesn't have at least a bit of romance, I most likely won't read it. I like to get into more dark romances because back in the day I used to read like a lot of that romance, and I feel like last year I read so little of that. I also would like to read more fantasy. I do this every year and I never end up doing it. So if anyone has any recommendations, comment them down below. And if you have dark romantasy recs, even better. So that was all for today, guys. Thank you so much for watching, and don't forget to subscribe and to follow me on all my socials. See you on the next video.